on Facebook Live from me, and share it with your friends, and then we'll have some more folks that'll be joining us here as well. And for those of you on YouTube, the 11 Alive Plus app, let your friends know how you're seeing this as well. All right, so let's get right down to it. Take a look at radar, and you can see we don't have anything going on here right now. In fact, we saw a good bit of sunshine out there late this afternoon and into the evening hours. A few more clouds, though, will keep building in for tonight. But look up into North Georgia, especially Northwest Georgia, and that's where we are dealing with a little bit of a winter mix. Now, we have seen in Dade County up at Lookout Mountain a pretty good coverage of snow falling there earlier. We've had sporadic reports from different areas here in North Georgia of just a few flurries. One of our storm trackers reported north of Hiawassee a few flurries coming down as well. But for the most part, a lot of the moisture is just pretty much right there in Northwest Georgia. And for those of you on Facebook, you can see that right there. Now, there is another little bit of rain right there around Calhoun. Many of you can see that right here around the Calhoun area. And that is just that, mainly some light rain that may switch over as cooler air comes in to be a little bit of a winter mix there as well. So here's a look at this in motion, and you can see how this rain has pretty much been right there over parts of Northwest Georgia during the late afternoon and into the evening hours tonight. And it's going to take a little bit for that moisture to start pushing on down to the south of us. And as you widen out, you can see that Alabama, Northwest Alabama, and parts of Tennessee are getting hit harder than we are in Northwest Georgia. And some of that winter mix stretches back into parts of Mississippi as well, with even winter weather down into parts of central Mississippi, mainly in the form of some snow and a little bit of a winter mix there too. So here is what we're watching with the winter weather alerts here. Now, you'll see the blue color right there. In fact, let me take that off real quick because I don't want that to confuse you here. There's also a wind chill advisory, and I'll show you that a little bit later. That's in effect for Tuesday. So I'm going to take that off here for just a second so that you can get a good idea of what we're watching at. I want to concentrate first on, let me take the wind chill advisory off. There we go. I want to concentrate first on the winter storm warning as well as the winter weather advisory. All right, so I just took the wind chill advisory off. I'll show you another graphic with that here in just a minute. But here we go. Let me get back out of here real quick and save this so we can zoom into it real quick, and you'll see what we've got going on here with that winter storm warning that actually extends out over parts of Alabama. Let me widen out a little bit there. North Alabama and in through Mississippi and up into Tennessee, Kentucky, and in West Virginia. So that's a wide swath there that you see where we have the bigger threats for winter weather, and that's pretty much where it's happening right now. But as you zoom in tighter here, you can see over Northwest Georgia and far North Georgia, those counties in white, that's where we have a winter storm warning that is in effect. That's for Dade County, Walker County, Catoosa County, also Whitfield County, Murray County, and Fannin County. Fannin County right there, where we have that in effect. Those are the areas that are going to have a little better chance of having maybe some light accumulations of snow or maybe some glazing there. Now, what I want you also to notice is that all of the counties here in purple, that's where we have a winter weather advisory in effect. Now, that goes as far south as Carroll County, Douglas County, Fulton County. It does not include DeKalb County or Gwinnett County. It goes up to through North Fulton into Forsyth County, Dawson County, Lumpkin County, White County, Townsend, Union County. That line up toward the north and west is where we have that winter weather advisory in effect. It's in those areas where we could see some winter conditions, and those conditions are most likely going to be from overnight and early tomorrow morning. A brief little bit of moisture moves through, and depending on what the temperatures are at the surface will determine if there's a little bit of glazing that could be going on, meaning just a little thin layer of ice could develop, mainly on some elevated surfaces, maybe on some tree limbs, your back deck that's elevated, maybe those steps that come down from the back deck could be a little bit slippery. And I don't really expect a lot of major or widespread travel issues with that, especially here in the metro area. but maybe some bridges and overpasses could start to get a glaze on them as well, which could turn slick. So that's what we have to watch for early tomorrow morning, and that's why some schools have been closing. But again, it's going to be a brief little period tomorrow morning where that's going to be where there's going to be a chance for that. All right, I know a lot of people are asking questions on Facebook. I'll try to get to some of those in just a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to ask what about my specific city or my specific county. I'm explaining all of that right now. So just watch what we have going on here, and you'll be able to pick out your area on the map to see what to expect. So these are the main things that we're going to be watching out there for tonight. The potential for some of that freezing rain or a little bit of glazing that would mainly be from Atlanta over to the west, maybe a little bit south of I-20, might just get some glazing there, but again, not a widespread area of that, and also up to the north and west of us where we can see some of that glazing. The main snow threats will be far northwest and North Georgia, but not even all of those people will have it accumulating there. So really not a big impactful event, but just some slick spots could develop, and we just want you to be aware of that potentially happening. So here is a rundown of those potential impacts. Snow, mainly northwest Georgia, where they could have in those areas, mainly in that winter storm warning area, up to 1 inch of snow in those spots. Freezing rain in the metro, it is possible there could be some light glazing, mainly on elevated surfaces. But again, we don't think it's going to be a widespread issue with ice here. The bigger issue this week is going to be the really cold air that moves in through the day on Tuesday and then overnight Wednesday. We're talking about overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday. We're talking about Wednesday morning temperatures that will be around 16 to 18 degrees, and then wind chills that are going to be around 0. That's why there's a wind chill advisory in effect for those spots. All right. So let's walk through the timeline. Well, let me show you the temperatures right now. We here in Atlanta made it up to 61 degrees for a high temperature today. Things are starting to cool down, though, a little bit today. We're at 48 out there right now. So we've gone from 61 to 48. You can see Dalton is at 35. Blairsville is at 39. So even those temperatures in far north Georgia are above freezing. So that's why that bit of a winter mix has isn't really active there now, but as these temperatures fall, that's when we'll have to watch for that moisture here. But I want to show you what we had out there for today. You know, we got up to 61 degrees this afternoon. That was in the 5 o'clock hour, but now those temperatures are starting to fall, and they will continue to fall during the overnight hour. So here's a look at the future radar, all right? So everybody who's saying, what about my city? What about my county? This is the part you want to watch real quick. Pick out your county, your area on the map, and you can see what we're watching. I'll try to move my head for you folks. Now, I know it's hard for those of you on YouTube to, when I move my head over, then the phone blocks. I think hopefully we can do it like this, all right? So you can see here what we're watching tomorrow, or actually tonight. A little bit of green. The green shows where we're going to have a little bit of light rain. The pink color shows where we may have a winter mix that could be in the form of sleet or freezing rain. And then the white shows where we would have some snow. So this is this hour. Getting to 10 o'clock, again, a little bit of that moisture, trying to get closer to the Atlanta area, mainly in the form of just some light rain. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning, the potential for some light rain there, as we think temperatures will still be above freezing. On the back side of that, though, as the colder air starts to move in, that's where we see that mixing there. At 3 in the morning, that could be over around Haralson County, Floyd County, moving over toward Bartow County, maybe northern Cobb County getting in on that. And then once we get to around 7 o'clock in the morning, this is where we still see just that brief period of potential mixing at that time frame as this moisture moves out. So this is going to be on the back side of that moisture where we have that potential for some of that freezing rain. Somebody asked on the Facebook Live here, South Metro, yeah, you have a chance for some of this, but we just don't think it's going to be really widespread. We're talking about this moisture moving through quickly, and then the cold air overlapping that only for a brief period before it all dries out. So there's the back edge of that continuing to move away. By 8, 9 o'clock, that moisture is well to the east of us. And then I think with the wind kicking up and the cold air coming in and really dry air behind this system, the ground is going to dry up pretty quickly. So we don't think we're going to have prolonged areas of water on the road that could freeze up. So it's just really going to be a brief period here early on Tuesday morning where we could see some slick spots developing. Not widespread travel issues, but sporadic travel issues. So that's why we have to watch for that. And I think that would mainly be on some bridges and also the overpass. As Julie says, are they treating the roads here at all near Atlanta? They're monitoring it overnight. I'm not sure if they have started putting brine out or anything, or if that's going to be really necessary. But we'll have more on that at 10 on the ATL and 11 on 11 Alive. Our reporters are out meeting with the folks from the DOT on that. So then during the day on Tuesday, that's where we're going to see those temperatures really falling and the wind is going to be kicking up, and we will see really cold air in place here. Now, this is what I want you also to know. I mentioned earlier the wind chill advisory is in effect 5 o'clock Tuesday afternoon until 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning for all of North Georgia, Metro Atlanta. This extends down into Central Georgia too, where we're going to see wind chills that will be near zero on Wednesday morning. So limit time outdoors, cover up any exposed skin. You really want to bundle up during the day on Tuesday and into early on Wednesday. Emily just asked on here, should we let our faucets drip? Maybe a good idea to do that Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, as we're going to see those conditions that are going to be the coldest part of the day. All right. Let me also show you again this cold blast of air that's going to be moving our way. You can see that pushing into our area during the day on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be really cold, and then chilly for the end of the week, and then another surge of cold air coming in for this weekend. We're talking about moving down into the teens again on Saturday morning, may even be colder on Saturday morning, before we finally start warming up a little bit. If you're looking for a thaw out or an opportunity to warm up, next week we're likely going to be above the average here going into next week. This is our 8 to 14 day outlook. So we do have warmer air that is going to be on the way. So I'm going to wrap this up at 9:15. Let me go back here to this graphic, and you can see some of that moisture that is up in North Georgia. We don't expect a lot of that here during the daytime hours tomorrow, but in the morning, some brief mixing is possible, mixing in with that cold air to give us the potential for a little bit of a winter mix there. I'm having a few questions on Facebook Live here about schools. I am not going to talk about school closings here. If you want to know about school closings, go to our website, 11alive.com, and that has an entire list, a running list of the school closings that we have in the area. Penny Garmin says, crazy, crazy weather. You're exactly right. We do have crazy weather out there. Someone's asking about shelters. We have information on shelters as well on our website. Vicki says, great forecast. Thank you. Cece says, David King, they'll be opening them up. Timothy says, snow this weekend or a chance. I think it's mainly going to be cold coming up this weekend, not a big time chance for any winter precip. Be sure to go to our website, 11alive.com, for more. Also information tonight at 10 on the ATL and 11 o'clock on 11 Alive News. Y'all have a good night.